follow the process. Like, you have a quick response time. If you go into this and you have a second job and you're not going to be able to respond for people for a day, like, don't do this, because you're going to waste your time and money, and we're just going to be frustrated that you're not following up with your leads, right? You have to have your systems dialed in. Like, that, like, hopefully it's just not you coaching all your classes and doing the sales and all of that. I think the biggest thing for is like where your revenue's at. Like, we don't want you to this to be such a stretch for you.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. Guys, today, Blake and I, we're going to talk about what we do, right? We get so many phone calls, so many people reaching out. They want to work with us. They've heard great things, but when we first get on the call, they're like, I don't know much about you guys. I just know that you help gyms make more money, just become better. So today we're sort of going to break it down and talk about what we do from top to bottom so that you guys can understand, right? So this will be a podcast that'll be linked when you book a call with us, just so you can know before we get on the call exactly what we do. So let's get started. Blake, let's start off with some of the sales training, guys. So when you work with us, we are going to help you guys with objection handling. We're going to help you guys create an offer, right? When I say offer, I don't mean discount. We're going to help you guys create some type of offer that's going to entice the people to take action, online, right? And then we're also going to help you guys make sure that your process is sort of cleaned up, right? Because we've seen over the years of doing this is that if you don't have a smooth process for someone to get started, it is only going to make it tougher for you to sign them up, right? So you don't want to have a lot of hiccups, a lot of bumps along the road when someone reaches out to you to come in for a free consult or book a discovery call. You want to make sure that it's fairly streamlined. So we look at all of that stuff right there when you first start, right? And if it's off a little bit, we tell you what we think is best case scenario, right? We're sort of going to help you get the biggest ROI from working with us. Now, we're not one of those companies that say, hey, you have to do it our way or the highway, but we're going to tell you, hey, this is what we've seen work very well. If you say, I don't want to do it, okay, you don't have to do it. But we like to say we're not going to be held liable if you're not successful, right? Because we want nothing more than you to be our next testimonial. We tell everyone that, right? It does us no good to work with someone that cannot have huge success, right? So anything that we tell you as far as the sales process and all of that stuff getting lined up and in line is for us to make sure that you have uber success. And then we'll also help train you and or your sales staff on the sales process, right? I know that everyone says they're great at sales, right? We actually just got off a call. Girls like, I'm great at sales. Like I'm telling you, if they show up, well, the sales process starts from the time that they become a lead, right? It's just not when they show up. Showing up, that's the easy part, right? If they actually show up, that's the easy part. Of course, you're good at sales if they show up, especially if you're not running paid marketing, because the people that are showing up from your organic post, these people, they're just following your protocol now. They're in line. They're already semi-sold. They're sort of ready to get going. Okay, what's my next step? Oh, they tell me I have to come in. Okay, so as long as you don't mess that up royally, they're probably going to sign up, right? Because they've already done the research and all of that stuff. So we're going to help you with dealing with some of this colder traffic. We're going to help you with objection handling, right? That's a big one, right? So that you're not saying every single person is saying they need to go home and think about it, right? Every single person said they need to talk to their spouse. Every single person said they need to look at their schedule. So we're going to help you with objection handling, get all of that sales funnel, because again, we want to see you be uber successful when you work with us. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. We're going to help you with your sales process. And then, Blake, I'm going to let you sort of talk about some of the marketing piece, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we probably should have started with you probably booked this call because you need help growing your business, right? And getting more leads, and you're frustrated by not having people to sign up on a constant lead funnel. So that is our main two things is we are going to help with, your getting more leads in the door through paid marketing and sales, because we know those two go hand in hand, right? So those are, and think of it we want you to listen to this podcast because just like when somebody comes in the gym and they don't have any basic knowledge of what you do, we want to make sure you have a basic knowledge and foundation of what we do. So when we get on the call, we can dial into how we're going to specifically help your gym rather than having the same convo, because it's going to be the same exact convo we have for everybody. So what we do with paid marketing, our goal, we're going to generate leads into your CRM, or if you don't have a CRM, we can provide one to you. A CRM, what is a CRM? That might be a basic question. It's going to be a platform like your billing software of Core, Zen Planner, Wodify is not a CRM. A CRM is automations that will send out automated text messages and emails at length for a year or so that is going to nurture a lead. Okay, so we're going to generate leads through paid marketing. How do we do that? Through Facebook and Instagram. So we create copy that we know that works, right? And for different audiences, for a general audience, for maybe personal training, for kids, for performance, whatever it may be that you do, we can do that. Okay, so you might ask, well, hey, can we make custom copy? You could do custom copy, but if you're in a position that you are not doing probably over $50,000 a month, you're going to spend a lot more money on custom copy, or the cost per lead is going to be much higher because it's unproven copy. So we test things at $40,000 to $60,000 a month on ads. So we know it works. We know how to generate you leads quickly and get people in the door. We always hear that people work with other marketers. Our main niche is fitness and health. So we know what works. We don't work in other industries where other industries might try to work with fitness and they don't get as good as results. The other thing we do not say anything is free. Okay, so we don't say anything is free. So we're not going to generate free leads. We also don't want you to do free trials, free weeks, because anytime you put free out there, what type of people are you going to get? Somebody that just wants to try it out for free, right? For free $99. So that's all they want. We want people that are looking for longer term solutions and that are willing to spend money and invest into their health and fitness. I'm trying to think of other questions that we might get when it comes to marketing. Anything come to mind?
A lot of times people ask us sort of about our background, and I think that's a huge sort of thing that separates us from many. I owned my gym for 13 years. Blake had 2 gyms for about 10 years. So we know the space, right? We know the gym space. We have been part of the gym space. And, I think that is a huge advantage to working with us because we've been there. We know the space. We've been in the trenches there, and we work with gyms on a daily basis. So 23 years of gym ownership experience and working with thousands of gyms over the last 7-8 years, guys, this is what we do, right? We're on a quick flash in a bucket trying to grab some cash from the gym space. This is what we do. And we want to see micro gyms, affiliates reach the pinnacle of whatever they can.
So the other thing, even take that a step further, all of our coaches also own gyms as well. So we don't have anybody that works at Lasso that doesn't own a gym or has owned a gym. the follow-up process. So what does it look like from the day that you sign up to launching your ads? So you'll get on, like, if you've already booked your discovery call, great. Or if you're listening to this and like, wow, this sounds interesting. Like, this is something that I need, right? Sherman, another thing, because I'll lose, like, what are typical results? Think about that. We'll dial that in later. But so from the first call, you sign up, we're ready to go, right? It's going to take us 7 to 10 business days to get your ads launched. In between those 7 to 10 days, what we do, we'll do an onboarding call. During our onboarding call, we'll go over, hey, your demographic, your geographic, where everybody comes from, the age groups. We'll craft an offer together. Like we said earlier, we don't say anything's free, but we want to put something out there that entices people to opt in. Then you'll get on a sales training call, to learn all about objection handling, the process. If you're going to do a discovery call or in person or both, like that flow and questions to ask. Then for that 7 to 10 day mark is when we launch the ads. We'll get on another 30-minute call, just make sure everything's buttoned up, everything's working properly, so everything's flowing right into your CRM. We'll go over, expectations for response time, best practices, kind of like Sherman said earlier. We're never going to tell you to do something. All we can do is give you the tools and say, this is what the best gyms do and the most successful gyms. And that's where what you should do. Another question we get all the time is like, hey, I want all quality leads. Like, I don't want any like tire kickers. If any marketing company tells you they can get you all quality leads, you probably should run and hang up the phone. We can't determine who's going to opt in. Not everybody is going to be a quality lead. What you want to look at is our best gyms are converting at a 25 to like at max 30%. Now, what that means, that's not like show up to close. That's lead to close. So let's say you just get, 100 leads, right? 100 leads. And that would mean that you're closing minimum 10% would be 10. Maximum would be like 25. 30 would be astronomical. That would be like a huge month, right? So that you got to look at that, and you're playing a numbers game, right? Like the thing you have to remember, and people get frustrated by, but it's just what it is people that are coming to you right now, if you're not running marketing, are looking for you. The three things: they like, know, and trust you. So it's much easier to sell them, right? Now we're switching roles, and now we're putting fishing poles out in the lake, out in the ocean, trying to generate people to come to us. We have to get them to like, know, and trust us. So it's a polar opposite. That's why you have to come really good at sales. That's why not everybody's going to sign up. They might not just be a great fit for your gym. They might opt in and be like, yeah, that sounds great, but you know what? Whatever, F45 Orange Theory or something like that. I want to do that first. You never know. But the main thing is we want to get more people in the funnel. And who knows, a year from now, they could come back. Just because they don't sign up the first month or 2 months or 3 months does not mean they're bad leads. Just means that they're not ready to sign up today. How many leads another question we get, I just want to cover all the bases. How many leads would you expect a month? Our average gym spends $750 per month on ads. Our average cost per lead right now is $10. And that's spending like 40 to 60 grand a month. So about 75 leads. Now, people always ask, well, why would that vary? Well, if you're in San Francisco or downtown Chicago or in a very highly competitive area, think of, and you're in some rural town in New Hampshire, like we have somebody, and they have no competition. Well, they're going to get a lot more leads for a lot cheaper because they're not competing for ad space and marketing dollars. So they're getting the whole area to themselves. When you're in downtown Chicago or San Francisco or Denver, everybody's marketing because you have to. So your cost per lead is going to go up, right? So if you're a smaller, like, here's the thing. It's a double-edged sword. If you're in a bigger, very highly populated area, you have to market because you have to be competitive because somebody else is going to win. If you're in a smaller area where you think that nobody's heard of you and you don't need to market, you should market because nobody's really heard of you and your cost per lead is probably going to be on the cheaper end. But our threshold is everybody stays under like $20 cost per lead for us. So that's, minimum, you're going to get like 40, 45 leads per month. So even then you're still going to convert. You should be converting at least 4 to 9 new clients a month. What else did I? Oh, Sherman, go over results. That's the question we always get. Before you go to that, we don't guarantee anything.
You took it. I was about to say that, guys. Listen, listen. If we could guarantee results, we would put that everywhere and pretty much just, we would be making a fortune, right? Like we would get into every industry that we could and guarantee results. But here's the thing: we can guarantee that we're going to get you quality leads. And I say quality, meaning we're not going to say anything free. We're not going to put out anything gimmicky. Most of these people are going to understand that, hey, well, this is a program that I'm going to get more info about. But on average, our new gyms sign up about $3,000 per month, right, in new revenue. Now, we try to stay away from people that want to do 30 days and try it out, right? So we'll figure out what that offer is going to be. But think about this. If people are sticking around, think about what your length of engagement is. And let's just play devil's advocate and say your length of engagement is only 6 months, which would be horrible, by the way. But let's just say if it's only 6 months. And you do $3,000 in new revenue 1 month. The next month, you get $3,000. So now it's actually $6,000, right? The third month, another $3,000. Now it's actually $9,000. Now we understand that some of these people are going to drop off and stuff like that. We're not saying that, but we are really focused on getting you a ROI month 1, month 2 at the latest from working with us, because being gym owners, we understand this thing has to make sense, right? I like to say, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, right? So we get that. And that's the reason that we want to make sure that you are making money from the beginning, right? And that's the reason some of our gyms, when they have their retention really dialed in and their sales process, it is phenomenal because they gain people and they don't lose them as quickly. So, I always tell everyone, hey guys, a huge testimonial for us is someone that say they start with us in the beginning, and let's say if they're doing $20,000, 18 months later, they're doing $35,000, right? That slow trickle month over month is what we're really looking for. Now, of course, what draws the people out of the bushes is when we have a client that crushes it, then they get 25 new members in a month. We love it. We love that type of success. But most gyms, they're not ready for that type of success. They don't have the system in place. So we don't guarantee those type of results, right? Like if this is a last ditch effort for you, it's either this works in 3 months or I have to shut down the gym. Don't book the call. Don't waste our time. Don't waste your time. We're not one of those companies. We are more of your strategic long-term partners that want to see you grow over time, right? Because we know that you'll be able to handle it. It's going to be great. And you're going to be able to grow into that role. I always sort of equate it to, regardless of what people think, everyone knows I like personal finances, right? Someone that grew up like me, grew up poor, right? You grew up poor, low socioeconomic background. Now, when I was 18, I thought, boy, if I just had $20 million, my life would be great. But if I would have gotten $20 million when I was 18, I may be dead today, if I'm being honest. Same thing, right? Like you think like, if I only got 25 members in this first month, guys, that may blow up most of your businesses, right? So that's the thing that we're really trying to do. We want to make sure that you understand that, yes, we are giving you guys some success from the beginning. We're trying to make sure that you always get an ROI. For us, month 1, month 2 at the latest is what we really try to get the results.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing I don't think I went into, nor did you yet, is after you guys sign up, we get on a call every 2 weeks to go over the metrics and how things are going. So on that launch call, we're going to go over the last 4 months of your data. How many leads, how many signups, how much new revenue, and your monthly revenue. Every month after that, we're going to go and let's say you have a net 4 or not even net, we're not even talking about net. You have 4 new signups a month, right? Because the reason I say we're not going to talk about net is because we can't help your churn, right? Like that's like, we're not a mentor company. We are a top of funnel lead generation and sales training agency. Okay. So if you get 4 new signups and then on average over 4 months, and then the next 3 months go 8, 10, 8, right? That's like an average of 9. We know that there's a net new 5 signups, right? So that's due to marketing. What we don't do is get into the weeds of where do they come from, because leads are going to come from everywhere. Once you start throwing more, fishing poles in the pond, you're going to have leads coming from everywhere. So not only if you reverse engineer your psychology of how you opt in or buy something off an ad, if you're somebody that does the research, you see an ad, you click on the Facebook profile, you look through the photos, you probably don't buy day one. Then when it comes back up, they're like, I need that. Like, for example, there's like this weekend bag that I'm looking to buy because I have a bunch of travel coming up. I haven't bought it. I saw the ad 3 months ago, but I keep going back to it. I will eventually buy that bag, but it won't be from the ad. The ad planted the seed, but it can never be attributed to that, right? So the same thing with your gym. The best leads are going to be ones that probably say, oh, I just searched you on Google, not realizing it was the ad that actually planted the seed. Or they might just say, I just drove by your gym. It actually just doesn't matter, right? Like I always say Coca-Cola commercial on a Coke commercial on a Super Bowl. They don't stand at the checkout line saying, hey, did you see our Super Bowl ad? No, they just look at sales and top line revenue. Same thing that we're going to do, right? Huge companies, you should be doing the same thing at scale at your small company. Other thing, so on our calls, the biggest thing that we focus on, we're going to look at, and we have a growth scorecard, leads, book calls, showed, signups. And we have color coded, like green's great, obviously. And then if it turns red, that's what we're going to focus on, right? So let's say you have 50 leads, 25 booked, but only 3 showed. We're going to go through, hey, are you booking too far out? Are you doing X? And like have the questions to fix the funnel, right? What's your response time? All that kind of stuff. What we don't get into, because you're hiring us, and if you book this call, we don't, like, I just want to be flat out. We don't want to work with people that want to learn how to run Facebook ads, right? We're here to take it off your hands. We don't want to teach you. We don't want to go through what every ad is working. We don't want to go through what every image is working. That is a waste of your time and our time. You're paying for the professionals to do it. That's just like somebody coming in and saying, I want you to hire me to be, I want to hire you for a personal trainer, and I want to do X, Y, and Z, very specific goals, right? But they want to know the methodology behind every single thing that you do and ask you every reason. And then you're like, why did you hire me? Just go do it on your own, right? Like we don't need to explain to you like, hey, what image, what copy, all that kind of stuff is working. We're going to give all of the coaches the data of the cost per lead. And if we're getting low cost per lead and we're getting signups, that's all that matters. We need to focus on the calls. Our focus is dialing in the funnel from leads to showed, so we can create a money-making machine that every month you're having predictable revenue, so you're not having down months. Sherman, looks like you want to add something.
No. I think I'm just thinking that you missed the spot there. You're supposed to use Rob's analogy. Rob said that you don't go to KFC and tell the colonel how to cook the chicken. Guys, seriously, like, we just don't want to waste your time, right? We want you guys to be focused on making more revenue, right? The photos, the copy, like all that stuff doesn't matter. When we get on the calls, we're going to show you, like,
gym images. Don't forget to talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sort of talk to you about what's going well, what's not, if something off, if something isn't. But don't waste your time on the details, right? Because really, when you work with us, I always tell everyone the fortune is in the follow-up, right? So if someone doesn't come in off the funnel in the first month, now the fortune is in the follow-up. So the follow-up is key. Now I want to talk about what Blake is referring to, and we're going to get ready to wrap up here. This is a big one. the gym images, right? So when people come to us, they be like, well, are you going to use our images or going to use images that you have? Again, guys, we spend about 60 grand per month. So we know which images are working across the world. Literally, we have clients all across the world. We know what images are working, which aren't. So we try to deploy those images with you guys from the beginning because we know they work. Now, we will go through your Dropbox, your Google folder and stuff like that, if you have that, your social media, and we will try to pull some of your photos, but we'll A/B test those to make sure that they're going to work just as good or better than our images that we spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars on. Because at the end of the day, again, we're not married to any one thing. We want to make sure that you are getting the leads and the signups that you need. If we only used your images, right? Let's just say those images don't work. And then you're going to come to us and say, I'm not getting any leads. And we're going to say, yes, we understand because your pictures are horrible. And then you're going to say, okay, well, I don't care. Use yours then. Okay, well, you understand we've lost a month now, right? So for us, we will use your images. We'll test them, right? We'll test them. We'll have some of your images in there, some of ours. But a bigger thing is, guys, and I want to be totally honest with you, no one cares. The person that's looking to get in better shape, lose weight, get stronger, just gain their life back, they don't come in to the intro or get on the discovery call and say, hey, like that photo that I clicked on, can I talk to that person that was specifically in that photo? Or they don't say, oh yeah, that photo, it doesn't look like this gym. Like, no one cares, guys. Again, some of you guys waste time on stuff that is totally irrelevant. And we want to make sure that you're focused on the main thing, right? Which is making more money by the leads that are coming in. So that's what we do with the images. Guys, listen, I think this is giving you guys.
Last thing, I think who should book a call? Like overarching, like revenue, who's ready to do this? And yeah, I think we should end like that.
All right, I'm gonna let you talk about some of it, then I'll add if I need to.
Okay. You should book a call. If you made it this far, obviously you're probably interested, right? You should book a call if you first, if you feel like you're ready and for lead generation, right? And you're in a good spot with your business. Most of the stuff we're going to teach you, like the sales. If you actually, here's the best person that should book the call. The person that can just be like, guys, because we always say this when we get on calls, it's our favorite client. You are the professionals. I'll do whatever you tell me because I want it to work. If you're going to push back on everything we say, like, hey, not doing a free trial, that like not following the process, that is not an ideal client for us. Like if, you're like set in your ways and think that like you're this unique unicorn, that like, whatever.
You're not.
We want to make sure I'm trying to be nice here and being professional, but yeah, like follow the process. Like you have a quick response time. If you go into this and you have a second job and you're not going to be able to respond for people for a day, like don't do this because you're going to waste your time and money. And we're just going to be frustrated that you're not following up with your leads, right? You have to have your systems dialed in. Like, that like, hopefully it's just not you coaching all your classes and doing the sales and all of that. I think the biggest thing for, is like where your revenue's at. Like we don't want you to be such a stretch for you that like, oh my gosh, this has to work, like Sherman said. And, I'll let Sherman allude to that. But that like the gym isn't going to close down in 3 months if this doesn't work. That's a big thing. Like, and then blame us. Like it's probably what you did over the last 10 years, no offense, that got you to this point. Like we can't save your gym in 3 months. Right. So I think that's another big thing too. So I think Sherman, the main thing is like the revenue, I think.
Yeah, for sure, guys. So, like people always ask like the revenue, right? We would say, sort of like a bare minimum is going to be like 15 grand, right? It's going to be a bare minimum that you can afford to work with us, right? And then, there's some people that have worked with us that had a little less revenue, but they had other jobs. They were trying to blah, blah, blah. or they weren't even open yet, right? We do a lot of grand opening stuff. So, but we like to say, hey, if you've been open for, years and you're doing 12 grand, you probably shouldn't book the call out. You're just not there revenue wise. It's going to be a big stressor on you financially. When it's a stress on you, you can't make the best decision because you're worried about the money, which we get. We've all been there. So I would say, at a minimum 15 grand, ideally about 20 grand plus, and you're going to be able to make this work. I'm going to add one more thing before we get out of here, guys. I want you guys to come with us. I like to know what the success look like when you book a call with us. So that's one of the questions I'm going to ask. Hey, what does success look like? And think about it, sort of what Blake sort of touched on earlier. Let's say you've been open for 5 years and you're doing 20 grand. And then you come to us and say, yes, I'm ready to do this. Let's get going. And if I ask you, okay, what does success look like? You say, in 12 months, I like to be at 40 grand. I'm going to say those are unrealistic expectations. I have to do it numerous times. You've been open for 5 years. You could only get to 20 grand. And you're going to work with us for 12 months and it's going to double your revenue. It's not likely. Is it possible? Yes, absolutely. It's possible, but unlikely. So have an idea of what success looks like so that we can talk about that, because we write all this stuff down. We put it in the notes so that when we hit those goals with many of our clients, we can celebrate that, right? So guys, I think that we've given them a ton of information. This is a great episode for you guys to, lock into, share with someone if you think they were thinking about booking a call with us or working with us, because now they have a better understanding of what we do, guys. So as always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.